My name is Per, and today I would like to talk to you a little bit about what I think has been my third step in the 5 step list that I'm somehow supposed to make. Um, and my third step has been becoming the communicator, which means that I am able to communicate the message. The thing is, of course, to be able to truly communicate something that then someone else can immediately see and pick up is quite difficult to some extent because our language, first of all, is so poor. Like, I'm talking about our day to day language is so poor that it cannot cover it in easy words. And sure, if you speak my language and I speak your language, we can do that quite fast with photos or images and videos of reality. But as in communication, talking to each other, right? But it's not possible if your language is different than mine. If, for example, when I say freedom, I mean free to do whatever you want under responsibility, as long as you're not hurting anyone else uh, on purpose. I mean, if you do something by mistake and it hurts someone, that's not hurting someone. That's just a effect of what you did. And since you didn't know what you were going into, you couldn't stop that happening. The only way you could stop someone getting hurt is not doing that action. And so it wasn't hurting someone, it was a side effect of you learning how you can hurt someone. Anyway, just so we are on the same side, just because someone feels hurt or whatever doesn't mean that they are hurt. It means that there's a possibility that they are what we in Denmark would call, or in Danish would call, nærtagen, which means that if you say something that they can paint in any picture, in any color they want, they will paint it in another color. And the message that you're saying they cannot hear because they are seeing it as if the most important thing to do is to look for if the other one possibly is communicating within racism, within hate, within religion, within whatever the heck it is that triggers them. And so if they can find an excuse to be triggered, they don't need to listen to you anymore. And then they can say, well, I know, I'm the one that's got it figured out. And these people are just idiots, right? Or confused, whatever you want to call it. But reality is no. Often, if we haven't done a tremendous amount of work to remove the glasses and filters that people have put over our eyes, you will not be able to do anything really because you're not seeing reality. You're seeing all these things that are not existing, and you will then try to fight them to get to reality. But the thing is, you're fighting a thought in your head, an idea that's been ingrained in you from you were a kid, which could be whatever, right? It could be you having to protect yourself from everyone. Anyone who ever comes to give you something must be wanting something from you. Everyone who's ever given someone something had that person give them someone something back, because or else we are unequal, right? Because it's all a personal thing, it's all a personal balance, right? And so if you haven't stepped into, like, let's call it, for lack of better words, complete unity, right? Then you cannot see that the balancing is happening in other places, because the only thing that you can think of is yourself and that person and the balance between them. And so when I, for example, come up to someone and I say, oh, listen, I have some resources here that are God's resources, and I am being told now that these are your resources, not God's anymore. I was just carrying them for God, to put it in a way fast, right? People go like, what do I owe you? Or like go completely the other way and go think that they owe you something, right? And they like, so for example, the other day I was in a room with some people and we were doing some, or some people were doing some preparations for dinner and stuff. And another guy came in and he was just all over the place. And so he, at some point, started talking about something completely irrelevant, right? In reality, completely irrelevant. Like, for example, he was saying that this shop is a bad shop and people don't want these products and blah, blah, blah. And at the end, I just cut off and said, like, look, you're saying that this shop is a bad shop. They have 1,000 bad products. Why are you talking to me about this shit when it is that you don't really actually want your product in that shop? Why are you focusing on all this shit, right? And he just, when he started talking about this in the first room, he just grabbed everyone. Look, this is important. You need to know this. You need to, and this is the most important thing here. Even though people were in part of making food, doing things that needed to be done so we all could eat together, right? Didn't matter what was on his mind. Well, sorry, what was on his mind was just the most important thing. So I had to get out of there because it was just eating me, that energy. It was just over or seeping into me, right? Into me. And I was like, yeah, I got to get out of here. And luckily, it was said that um, dinner is ready, go sit on the table. And so I went into the table and I was the only one in the room. And after like half a minute or something, he came in and sat next to me and started just going nuts about all these things. And so I said to him, listen, focus on your stuff. Don't focus on all this stuff that is unimportant. Focus on your heartbeat. Learn how to slow down to your heartbeat rather than running at the speed of light like everyone else out there is doing now, because they think that that's the most important thing, figuring out how to run at the speed of light so we can get out of here because this place is fucking dangerous, right? Or psychotic or whatever. Yeah, well, we created this shit. If you think that you, as a psychotic person, as in part of this we place, right, uh, can go somewhere else, you are really not aware of that we right now are human beings. The way we are a virus. And if we get off here and go to another place, we infect that place. And so, therefore, we cannot do that, right? We have to change ourselves before we become part of the bigger whole. Right now, we are so focused on ourselves that we cannot become part of the whole because we are not taking part in the whole. We're taking part in ourselves. And I don't mean that in sense of getting off this planet or into the universe and all that. What I mean is that right now we have people that are making $1 billion a year as income, and we have other people that are dying on the street because they can't find food. They can't eat, whether they can find food or not. They can't take it in. They are so under stress, under duress from the in the system that they're living in, that their body is literally saying, I cannot be here. It's just, I will refuse to take in more, right? And that's not good. That's the point we have reached of selfishness, right? It's so wild, right? Like private people are making an effort to get into space now. That's how much our resources are skewed. It's just crazy. I'm so smart. Let's get off this planet because you're also fucking dumb. Okay. Whatever. I think we need to learn how to communicate. Because if we don't learn how to communicate, we might as well just be in the way of a meteor. Because what does it matter if the destruction is ours or we go out and make destruction? What's best? Like for the whole? Like it sucks losing this planet for sure. But isn't it better than losing half of the universe from this virus? No, I did not say let's fucking blow this shit up. I said let's change it. Let's become part of the whole rather than the onlooker of the whole. Enjoy.